Hello, welcome back to Grow New Plants. So today I'm going to put the back wall on the greenhouse. And the last time we put the front wall in and that had the door in it, this wall here is going to have a window in it. It's just an old aluminum window, not anything fancy, just an aluminum window that I can open up, has a screen on it to get ventilation. So I'm going to mount that right about up here on this wall. So I'm going to get set up and we'll start putting these in. I'm not going to go into as much detail on this one because it's pretty much the same thing I did on the front wall, except I'm putting a window instead of a door in. Should be a little bit easier. So we'll get started on it. Okay, so I did a little bit of laying out on the walls. The next thing I need to do is I need to mount my brackets. And these are the brackets that attach my 2x4s onto the hoops at the top. So I just take these things and I think I got 6D nails. I just nail this thing in, center it up as best I can, nail it in on both sides. And again, some of this stuff, if not a lot of detail on some of this. If you watch part 1 of this series over the end walls, you'll kind of see a little bit more. Kind of tap that down on there. That looks pretty good right there. So I'm going to go ahead and do the other one like this. And then we're going to set our 2 center posts up and we'll get the measurements out to get the opening for our window in there. Okay, so I've got a mark down there on the bottom where I want the bottom of this board to be. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang this thing from off on this hoop to where this board is hanging down level. And that's how I'll know it's the right distance. And I'll do some measurings and measuring and checking it to be level from the other side too. So the first thing I need to do, if I can do this without dropping anything, is I need to get this bracket here, just basically a brace band. I need to get it over the top of the end bow here. I give it a little bit of a squeeze there. So when I put this in too, I want to make sure I put my bolt towards the inside so I don't have anything sticking out. It's going to catch my plastic. So I'm going to work that through there. Get my nut on the back side. Okay, now I got that nice and loose where I can still make adjustments on it. But it's going to want to hang pretty level. So I know I can't show you everything. I can't show you my mark down there on the bottom. So that's close to my mark. So what I want to do is I'm just going to put my level on here. Get this thing level and look at where it is on my mark. I need to go over probably about 3 or 4 inches. That's probably going to be pretty close right there. So take this thing, get it level again. I need to go just a smidge over it. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and snug that down a little bit, being that I'm that close. So it won't slide through quite a bit when I'm tightening it down. I'm going to get it a little bit snugger. And that way I can make fine adjustments on it now that I've got it close. Okay, that's pretty snug there. So now I'll put my level back on it. Get it level. Look at my mark. I need to go. Which way do I need to go? That's pretty good right there. So let me tighten it down. and then I'll double check it one more time. Before I go all the way down to that, I'm going to double check it again. So I've got it on my mark. That's level, so I'm good right there. So I'll finish cinching that down really good. And then basically I just want to go back and I want to repeat the same thing on this other side on that other mark. And then I'll be able to screw these in at the bottom. And then I'll come in and I'll build my frame inside of this for my window. Okay, so I'm back down on the ground now, and I double checked my measurement up there at 33 1/4, which is the opening that I want to have in this, and you'll see why in a minute when I start putting the window up. So right here's my mark. I want my board on this side of the mark, so I'll put my board right up against it, put my level back on. No, you can't see it, but just trust me, it's perfectly level right there. So that's exactly where I want this thing. So I've got some 4-inch deck screws that I'm going to run in, and before I did these, I pre-drilled these, but I think I'm going to be all right without pre-drilling them. Okay, that's solid as a rock, even with one screw. So I'm going to put 2 of these in here. And the distance, how far this board hangs down, is not that critical. It's down about, it hangs down on the inside about this far. And I'll build some dirt up underneath it to help support it a little bit too. So that's nice and steady. So let's move over to the other one. Okay, so right here's my mark. I want my board on this side of the mark, on this side. Go and get my screw started. So I'm going to line that up. And my screw in there, I didn't check that, but I'm pretty sure it was level. Yeah, that one's still level too. So go ahead and run my second screw in there. Okay, those are solid as can be now. So the next thing I want to do is I want to just double check and make sure my opening's 33 1/4 across here, which it is. So I got the same distance here and here between these 2 boards as I do up at the top. So I'm ready to start framing my window in now. Okay, so I just kind of held the window up here, figured out the height that I wanted it where I could open and close the screen without having to get on a ladder. So right here is my mark. You can't see it, it's just a mark. It doesn't really matter exactly where it is at this point, but that's where I'm going to start out with the base of the frame for my window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a screw started on the other side here, and you'll see in a second why it doesn't matter exactly where this first one is. Alright, so I got a screw started there. Now I'm going to hold this up here, and this is again 33 1/4. Hopefully I'm not blocking my camera too bad here. So I'm going to line that up. I need more hands. So I'm going to line this up on that mark. Make sure it's flush on both ends. And get that screw started. There we go. Okay, so we got one in there. Now, what I want to do here, and this is why that height wasn't extremely critical there, The main thing I want now is I want this opening to be square. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get this thing close. So I'm going to start a screw here. Get this other side started. Okay, so now I'll put my square back on here. And I'll just lift this thing up. Up there. Okay, I'm gonna get on the ladder and check this from the back side, just kind of double check it. Make it stand to come up just a touch. And I think, and I left an 1/8 of an inch gap around this, but I think I can do that. I think it's going to be close enough. So I'm going to go ahead and screw these other two in. Okay, so now here I've got two. I'm gonna get my tape measure and double check this. Right here, I've got two 27-inch pieces, and that's gonna give me my height. I'll pick that one up in a second. Double check, make sure these are my 27-inch boards. Yes, they are 27 and an 1/8 actually. And this is going to give me an 1/8 inch play all the way around. So basically all I need to do with these is screw these right here and screw those in. Nothing to those. This is my critical board here. Okay, I'm a goober. I didn't realize my camera angle wasn't showing the stuff up at the top, but anyway. We screwed these boards in on the side. I sat these boards, I ran a screw down here, and now I'm putting screws into the end of it. Okay, so I'll put the one in on the other side, then we'll put our window in. And this is the outside on the side that I'm at. So that hopefully, perfect. I've got I've got a little bit of play that way, just a tiny bit of play that way. So I'll center this thing up, and then now we'll come in and I'll put some Tech screws in. I'm not going to mount this just yet. I'm going to go ahead and wait to the end because I don't want to take a chance of breaking the window. So I'll set the window off to the side, but that'll be my window. Now the next thing I got to show you here is, you see where the window is? The window is attaching to these boards right here, but I need the second board to attach my tracking for, or the channel for my wiggle wire. So I have nothing. This one here, this ledge is coming up to about right here on this board. So there's nothing to attach my wiggle wire to. So I have to put another dummy board across the top and one across the bottom, and that will give me stuff to put my wiggle wire to frame out around, because there will be no plastic obviously over the window. So that'll give me something to mount my wiggle wire to hold my plastic down around the window. So I'll put one more board here, one more board here at 33 1/4. Okay, so I have these extra plates here. It's the top and the bottom put in now. So this thing's all framed out ready, and now I have this outside board right here, and here is where my frame will mount, but of course on the other side for the window. And then right here is where I can put my wiggle wire to attach my greenhouse plastic with around that. This is going to be between this section and the post down at the bottom. I'm splitting one more post on the end. So what I'm doing here, I'm going to go ahead and run this on the inside of the post. Now I'll do it from here, mark it on the back. So I've got my marks already made where I split the difference down there on the bottom, and I've already measured. So I need to eye this thing in. I should have had my level, but I feel pretty confident that's pretty straight up and down. So what I need here, I'm going to make a mark right there at the bottom of my post. And then from that down, I'm going to go, so right here is my mark, and I've already figured out that from the top of these posts to the bracket where it meets the bow is about 1 1/4 inches. So this will be easier on the ground, but I'll go ahead and do it here so I can show you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark another 1 1/4 inches off. So right there is where I'm going to cut my board. And that'll give me, and I got a little bit of play room down at the bottom. I can dig out a little bit if it's too long, but I'm going to make my cut here, and then this post should be the right height to mount into this section. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on both sides, and then I'll attach the brackets on here, and then we'll hang this post. Okay, so I've got this thing trimmed down now where I can get it. I'm going to get it on my mark at the bottom, put my level on it. So that's level right there, so I think that'll be just about right. So the next thing I need to do is put my brace band over the hole here. That's pretty good. Okay, so I've got all my posts up, and I went ahead and cut all my bracing. I've got all my side bracing going all the way across there, and I put 2 more braces up high. Basically, it's going to mimic the other side there. So I'm just going to, that's going to take me a little bit of time. I've already got it all cut, so I'm just going to do a time lapse through that. Okay, so I got all my bracing in now. Basically this wall's finished other than mounting the window. So I'm gonna go get my Tex screws and then we'll mount the window. Okay, so I have my window now and I had a gap here of probably maybe almost 1/4 of an inch. So what I did is I took these 6-penny nails and I put some of those down across the bottom, and that's going to split my difference. So I'll end up with roughly with an 1/8 of an inch gap at the top and the bottom. I had a total 1/8 of an inch gap on the side, so I'll just slide that from side to side. So let me get my drill. Before I set that in there, I don't want to do anything to move on me. So I've got these Tex screws, 1-inch Tex screws. They're just self-tapping screws. So I want to very gently set that in there so I don't move my nails. Okay, so that's sitting on the nails. So that should have split my gap pretty evenly. And just go side to side till that feels about right. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and I'll just start with this corner right here. Put one of my self-tapping screws in. Okay, so it's there now. All I got to do is just put some more screws in it, cinch it down. Okay, so I have the second end wall up, and essentially now the entire frame for the greenhouse is up. All I've got left to do is put my channel on for my wiggle wire and put my plastic on. And I'm pushing the limits here on getting this thing done and covered before winter. But I've really only got a few things that really need to be in the greenhouse. I'm probably going to move those in the garage because we got a chance of getting some freeze or a frost later this week. So I'll probably go ahead and just move that stuff into the garage until I get the plastic up, and I'll move it back up here in the greenhouse. Some of the other things, some of the more tender rooted cuttings that I did late in the year, I would like to have in the greenhouse, but I think a light frost is not really going to hurt those that bad. Just don't want them to freeze hard until they get a little bit bigger root system going. But I'll have the plastic on, and then I can go ahead and move some of the more tender stuff in, and then I'll come back in and work on the inside, the floor, and all that stuff. So anyway, I appreciate you watching. We're getting close to being done. I hope you're enjoying this series. I hope if you're building your own greenhouse, this may help. Leave me comments. I appreciate comments. Appreciate you watching. Please like, please subscribe, please share my videos. Thank you.